we can be very affected by the absence of the good, even more than by the presence of the bad. And there's a lot of new research on the incredible importance of positive emotional experiences, especially in early childhood and then throughout the lifespan, not just the absence of adverse experiences, right? And so linking, you're aware of the positive in your mind being big. You really have a strong, big sense, let's say, of open-hearted strength. Off to the side is some anxiety that you keep that weed small so it doesn't suck you in. You want the flower to pull the weed. You don't want the weed to dislodge the flower. And if you stay with that for a breath or two or three, naturally neurological processes begin to occur in which the flower starts associating with the weed, easing the weed, going underneath it to satisfying the underlying unmet needs, the underlying longings of your heart, and over time, whoop, clears it out. That process of linking, I did not invent. You find it in all kinds of settings, even simply mindful awareness. Spacious mindful awareness of a weed is linking because spacious awareness itself is untroubled. Whoa. There's a saying, bad farmers grow weeds, good farmers grow crops, great farmers grow soil. Since the brain can become easily sensitized to the negative, it's really important to allow our painful experiences as they are. We don't resist them, but we can step back from them in spacious awareness, particularly also with compassion for ourselves and kindness for ourselves. And that itself stops feeding the weed, it stops sensitizing your brain to the negative. Good, very important. And over time, if people engage in an ongoing practice, there's not much research for this, but there's some good suggestions that it's true. If people over time engage in a practice that's authentic, in which they deal with the bad, they deal with it. No spiritual bypass, no overlooking. We deal with the stuff out in the world and inside ourselves, while also, second, turning to what is good meanwhile, what is also true. The flowers that are still blooming, the people who are still helping, the goodness and kindness and intentions that are still in you, your efforts to learn and be sincere and make efforts along the way with a good heart. That's also true. And then third, take in the good along the way. As you repeatedly do that, usually less than 5 minutes a day, a breath here, a couple minutes there, maybe a little journaling, maybe a deliberate few minutes of meditation before bed, maybe a moment at a meal, maybe a time of prayer. As you do this as a practice to turn to the good and receive it into yourself, and to be humble enough to appreciate our dependence on all kinds of good to receive into ourselves. As you do that gradually, plausibly, I think you're going to sensitize your brain to the better. And I think you're going to change the soil in your own brain